My girlfriend smirked in front of our friends and said, "You'd fall apart." Without me, I looked at her and replied, "Really?" A week later, I accepted the overseas promotion I had been afraid to take, forwarded my mail, had my name removed from the lease, and left when she showed up to deliver her speech about forgiving me, a stranger. Open the door. I'm Charlie, 34, and for almost 6 years, I thought being patient with Lauren meant I was mature. I was the guy who apologized first, kept extra phone chargers in every room, because she always lost hers and remembered exactly how she liked her coffee when she woke up already mad at the world. I lived a pretty ordinary life, worked hard, paid my share, forgot small things sometimes, and tried to be easy to love. For a long time, I thought that was what love was, knowing someone's coffee order, taking the blame before a fight got out of hand, and laughing when a joke landed too close to the bone because it was easier then, making the room uncomfortable. Then I realized love was supposed to make you feel known, not managed. Lauren was 32, and if you met her once, you would probably think she was the responsible one. She had that polished, organized energy people admired. She remembered birthdays, kept a shared grocery list on her phone, had labeled shelves in the bathroom cabinet, and could make a messy weekend sound like a military operation. By breakfast, people used to say, "Charlie, you're lucky. Lauren keeps you in line." I laughed with them. Lauren laughed harder. At first, it was small. If I forgot paper towels, she would sigh and say, "This is why I can't send you anywhere without a list." If I left laundry in the washer too long, she'd say, "I swear I'm raising a boyfriend." If I missed a text because I was busy, she would shake her head and say, "You don't function without supervision." The first 100 times, it sounded like teasing. The problem with jokes like that is they don't always stay jokes. Sometimes they become the official story. By the 5th year, Lauren didn't say, "Can you grab paper towels?" She said, "Do you think you can handle paper towels without turning it into a thing?" She didn't say, "You forgot to reply." She said, "This is why I manage our plants." She didn't ask what I wanted for the future. She told me which ideas were realistic for me and which ones were too much responsibility. I didn't see it clearly while I was inside it. I just started shrinking around her opinions before I bought anything. I imagined Lauren's reaction. Before I said yes to plans, I checked whether she would call them inconvenient. Before I made a decision, I heard her voice in my head telling me I was probably missing something obvious. The worst part was I started believing her. Not completely. Not enough to fall apart, but enough to hesitate. That hesitation is how I almost lost a promotion. It was an overseas role I had earned after years of quiet work, late calls, extra projects, and taking on messes nobody wanted. I'm not going to name the company or the place because that part isn't the point. The point is that the offer was real. It came with a relocation packet, temporary housing, a start date, and a deadline to accept. When the first email came in, I stared at it for 10 minutes. Then I closed it. Not because I didn't want it. I wanted it so badly my hands shook. I closed it because my first thought wasn't, "Can I do this?" It was, "How will Lauren react?" I told myself I would bring it up at the right time. There was never a right time with Lauren. There was only a time when she was in a good mood, and then a time when I ruined that mood by wanting something that did not revolve around her. So I waited. Then came the friend gathering. It was nothing fancy, just our usual group at Miles' place with takeout. Containers spread across the coffee table, half-finished drinks sweating on the coasters, and someone's phone playing music from the kitchen while everyone talked over everyone else. Miles was there, and Ben and Natalie, Lauren's closest friend in the group. Few others came and went. For the first hour, it was normal. Ben complained about a bad haircut. Natalie told Story about getting stuck on a call with her aunt. Lauren leaned against me on the couch like everything was fine. Then someone asked why we were late. I said, we had to stop at the store. Lauren left, and I knew that laugh. We had to stop, she said, lifting her glass because Charlie forgot paper. Towels again. It was such a small thing. Too small to defend. That was part of how she always got away with it. I smiled and said, guilty. Lauren kept going. No, you guys don't understand. I put it in the grocery app. I said it out loud. I texted it. I practically sent him on a quest with one item, and he still came home with chips and no paper. Towels. A couple of people laughed. I laughed too because that was what I did. Lauren looked pleased, so she pushed harder. This is what I live with. Everybody thinks Charlie is so calm and capable, but behind the scenes, I am the infrastructure. Ben gave a short laugh and immediately reached for a container of noodles. Anyway, he said, who ordered the spicy ones? Lauren ignored him. No, I'm serious. She said, be honest, Charlie. You'd fall apart in a week without me. The room changed. Not dramatically. Nobody gasped. Nobody stood up. But there was that tiny shift where people suddenly became interested in their cups, their phones, the corner of the table. Miles looked at me. His smile was gone. Natalie gave a nervous little laugh and said, Lauren. Lauren waved her off. What? I'm not insulting him. I'm describing a pattern. I looked at her. She was smiling, but her eyes weren't soft. They were fixed on me like she was daring me to make it awkward. I said, really? Lauren tilted her head. Yes, really. I waited for anger to hit me. I expected embarrassment, heat, something sharp enough to make me snap. Instead, I felt quiet, not calm in a peaceful way. Calm in the way a glass feels calm, right? Before it cracks, I nodded once and said, nothing else. The rest of the night was awkward. Ben changed the subject so aggressively that it felt like he was steering a car away from a ditch. Miles asked me twice if I wanted another drink, even though mine was still half full. Natalie kept glancing between me and Lauren, but she didn't say anything. Lauren acted like she had won something. On the ride home, the radio was low and the dashboard lights made everything feel colder than it was. Lauren scrolled through her phone with one hand and tapped her nails against the case. After 5 minutes, she sighed. Don't do that. Wounded silence thing. I kept my eyes on the road. I'm not wounded, I said. I'm thinking. That's worse. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so honest that she didn't even hear herself. She turned toward me. You know I was joking. No, I said. I don't know that. Oh my God. Charlie, I didn't answer. You're being dramatic because you know I hit a nerve. There it is, I said. What? The part where you insult me, then explain my reaction back to me. She stared at me for a second, then looked out the window. I'm the only person who tells you the truth. That line used to work on me. It made cruelty sound like courage. It made my discomfort sound like denial. That night, it just sounded tired. When we got home, Lauren went straight to the bedroom and closed the door harder than necessary. I stood in the kitchen under the too bright light, looking at the grocery list app still open on my phone. Paper towels sat at the top, checked off now because we had bought them after the first stop. I realized she hadn't told the story because paper towels mattered. She told it because the story reminded everyone what role I was supposed to play. The next morning, I woke up before Lauren and sat at the small table near the kitchen with my laptop. The apartment was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and Lauren's white noise machine behind the bedroom door. I opened the promotion email again. The deadline had not passed. I read every line this time. Relocation assistance, temporary housing for the first month, Document checklist, start date, contact. Person, acceptance link. For once, I asked myself what I wanted before asking. How Lauren would react. My answer came. Fast. I wanted to go. My cursor hovered over the acceptance button for so long. The screen dimmed, then I clicked it. The confirmation email arrived 2 minutes later. I took a screenshot, not because I needed proof for Lauren, but because I needed proof for myself that I had actually made a decision without waiting for her permission. It didn't feel like revenge yet. It felt like breathing. I didn't pack a suitcase that day. I didn't make a dramatic speech. I didn't tell Lauren while she was brushing her teeth just to watch her face change. That would have felt good for 10 seconds and terrible for the next 10 years. Instead, I got organized. I made a list. Not a cute shared list. Not one Lauren could edit, correct, or roll her eyes at. My own list. Documents, lease, mail, bank, passwords, shared accounts, final. Expenses, personal items, work. Relocation, temporary housing, contact. Apartment management. Everything Lauren said I couldn't handle. I handled it. I changed passwords on my personal email, banking, cloud storage, and accounts that had been logged in on shared devices. I moved my passport, birth certificate, and other papers into a small lockbox. I checked our shared expenses and calculated my portion of rent and utilities through the move-out date. I sent the amount with a bank transfer memo that said, final shared expenses, my portion. I contacted the apartment office and asked what the cleanest process was for removing myself from the lease at the end of the term and completing my handoff. Mr. Harris, the building representative, emailed back with the procedure. Neutral. Procedural. Beautifully boring. I submitted mail, forwarding, and saved the confirmation number. The email said, your mail forwarding request has been submitted. Start date, Monday. I stared at that line longer than I should have. Monday. A normal day for everyone else. A door. For me. Lauren noticed the change before she knew what it was. I stopped giving her emotional weather to react to. I stopped explaining myself in circles. I stopped trying to make her understand why something hurt me when she had already decided my hurt was evidence of weakness. She found me one evening, folding laundry on the couch. My clothes were separated from hers for the first time in years. She stood in the doorway with her arms crossed. Are you trying to punish me? No. Then what is this? A decision. Her face tightened. What decision? I'm not discussing it. While you're looking for a fight. She laughed once, sharp and humorless. See? This is what I mean. You can't communicate. I can communicate. I'm choosing not to do it in circles. Lauren stepped closer. You don't have to perform independence for me. I folded a shirt and set it in my pile. I'm not performing. You're being weird. Okay. That word bothered her more than any argument could have. Lauren liked debate because debate gave her handles. She could grab a sentence, twist it, and make me defend the tone instead of the point. But okay gave her nothing to work with. 2 days later, she slipped. We were in the kitchen. She was making coffee, and I was checking an email on my phone. Not the promotion email. Something harmless. She said, you really think you can handle being that far away from everyone? I looked up. What? She added creamer to her mug and didn't look at me. I'm just saying you get overwhelmed here. You think moving overseas is going to magically make you a different person. I went still. I had told her months earlier there might be a future opportunity, a vague possibility. I had never told her it was active. I had never told her it was overseas. I had never told her there was a deadline. How did you know it was overseas? I asked. She froze for half a second. Barely, but I saw it. Then she rolled her eyes. You leave things open all the time. That's exactly what I mean. My tablet I remembered leaving it open on the table one morning after checking the offer. I remembered Lauren standing near it while she drank coffee. I remembered her being strangely sweet that day, asking if I was stressed, then later, making a joke about how I could barely handle changes to our dinner plans. I said, "You read my email." I saw a subject line. "You read enough. Don't make this dramatic." It is dramatic. She set her mug down too hard. Coffee splashed onto the counter. I'm not the villain because I noticed you were about to make a reckless decision. There's the truth. The truth is you're not thinking clearly. No, I said. The truth is you knew before I told you, and instead of talking to me like a partner, you started making me feel too incompetent to take it. Her mouth opened, then closed. For the first time in a long time, Lauren didn't have a fast answer. Then she found one. I'm trying to protect you from embarrassing yourself. I nodded slowly. That's what you call it. That's what it is. I left the kitchen before I said something I couldn't take back. That night, Miles texted me. At first, it was simple. I should have said something that night. I stared at the message from the edge of the bed. Lauren was in the shower, music playing from her phone. I wrote back. About what? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. About Lauren. About the joke. About all of it. Then he sent another message. You need to know what she's telling people. My stomach sank. A few screenshots came through. They were from a smaller group chat I wasn't in. Lauren, Natalie, Miles, and Ben. The first screenshot showed Lauren complaining that I was spiraling because I had gotten quiet after the gathering. Then I saw my name. Lauren, Charlie is easier to manage when he doubts himself. I read it once. Then, again, under it Natalie had written, that sounds kind of messed up. Lauren, it's not messed up. It's realistic. He'd be lost without structure. Another screenshot. Lauren, if he takes that overseas thing, I lose control of his schedule. Ben, control? Lauren, you know what I mean. Miles, do we? Lauren, he likes to act calm, but he always comes back when I make him remember he needs me. My face got hot. Not with anger at first, with embarrassment. There is a special kind of shame that comes from realizing people were discussing the private shape of your weakness like it was a household system, like you were a difficult appliance, like your confidence was something someone could turn down to keep you useful. Miles sent one more message. I thought she was just being harsh. Then I saw the chat. I'm sorry, man. I didn't answer right away. I sat in the bedroom with the phone in my hand, listening to Lauren shower, running on the other side of the wall. That was the first time her love sounded like a management plan. And weirdly, after the embarrassment passed, I felt relief. Because for years I had wondered if I was too sensitive. I had wondered if I was missing the joke. I had wondered if I really was that hard to live with. But there it was in writing. Not a bad mood. Not a joke. Not honesty. Strategy. The next morning I waited until Lauren left to pick up coffee. Then I sent the message I had drafted and deleted 3 times. Lauren, I'm ending the relationship. I'll communicate about shared expenses, mail, and apartment logistics in writing. I'm not available for personal arguments. I didn't add a paragraph about how much she hurt me. I didn't call her controlling. I didn't mention the screenshots. I didn't ask for closure. The shorter it was, the more honest it felt. Her first reply came in less than a minute. You're proving my point. Then, this is exactly what you do when you I can't handle being called out. Then, you're not thinking clearly. Then, everyone can see you're having some kind of episode. Then she called. I let it ring. She called again. I let it ring again. Then she texted, pick up the phone like an adult. I wrote, only contact me about apartment or financial matters. She replied, you'll call when this little phase wears off. I put my phone face down, and kept packing. Not everything. Not all at once. I did it. Slowly and cleanly. Clothes first, then books, then the small things that were mine but had become part of the apartment scenery. The chipped blue mug, the old headphones in the drawer, the framed photo from a trip where I remembered feeling exhausted the entire time, but smiling in every picture. Lauren came home furious. She found me taping a box in the corner of the living room. So that's it, she said. I didn't look up. Yes. 6 years, and you're going to send a text. I sent a boundary. You sent a performance. I pressed the tape down and stood. I'm not fighting. Of course. You're not. You never fight. You just do this quiet little victim act and make everyone feel sorry for you. I took a breath. That wasn't a joke to me. What? At Miles's place. What you said that wasn't a joke to me. She threw up her hands. Because you're too sensitive. No. I said because it was true to you. Her face changed. I knew I had hit the center of it. You have no idea how much I've done for you, she said. I know exactly how much you've done. I also know what you charged me for it. She blinked. That doesn't even mean anything. It does to me. I picked up the box and carried it to the hallway. Over the next few days, Lauren cycled through every version of herself. Angry Lauren texted that I was selfish, concerned. Lauren said I was making a life decision from an emotional place. Mocking Lauren said I wouldn't last a month. Soft. Lauren left a voicemail saying, I know. You're scared. I know you, Charlie. You don't have to do this to prove something. That one almost got me. Not because I wanted to go back, because she knew exactly which voice to use. The one that sounded like home before home turned into a room where I had to ask permission to trust myself. I listened once, saved it, and did not answer. I kept everything in writing. Mr. Harris met me for the apartment handoff the following week. Lauren wasn't there. She had sent one text that morning saying, I'm not participating in your tantrum. That was fine by me. The apartment looked strange without my things. The shelves were half empty. The charger by the couch was gone. The closet had space in it I hadn't seen in years. Mr. Harris walked through with his checklist, tapped at his tablet, checked the keys, and looked at the walls. Everything looks good, he said. You're clear. I asked for confirmation by email. He nodded like that was the most normal request in the world. No problem. An hour later, I received it. Per our conversation, this confirms receipt of your move-out notice and completion of the apartment handoff. No outstanding balance is listed at this time. I read it twice. No outstanding balance. I wish. Emotional Lives came with emails like that. The mailbox label changed the same day. My mail forwarding was active. My temporary housing was confirmed through the relocation packet. My flight was booked. I had 2 suitcases, a backpack, and a folder full of documents Lauren used to joke I would lose if she didn't keep track of me. I didn't tell her my temporary address. I didn't give her my flight information. I didn't give her a final scene that, more than anything, was what she couldn't stand. She started telling people I had abandoned her. I heard it first from Miles. Then Natalie messaged me. I thought she was venting. She wrote, but she's saying you disappeared and that you're unstable. I'm sorry. I should have told her it was messed up when she said those things. I didn't answer for a while. Then I wrote, thank you for saying that. I'm keeping communication with Lauren to email only. Natalie replied, she thinks you're still at the apartment. That made me pause. Why? 3 dots. She said she's going there tomorrow to talk sense into you. Her words. I almost laughed. Of course she was. Lauren didn't want a conversation. She wanted a stage. She wanted the old apartment, the old lighting, the old version of me sitting inside, surrounded by half-packed boxes and guilt. She wanted to walk in as the reasonable girlfriend, sigh and offer me a door back into the role she had written. Later, Miles sent me another screenshot. This one was from Natalie. Lauren had texted her, he needs a door back. I'm going to give him one. I'll forgive him if he admits this was fear. Natalie had replied, are you sure he wants that? Lauren, he doesn't know what he wants. That's the problem. I didn't feel tempted to warn her. I didn't feel tempted to explain. Mr. Harris had confirmed the handoff. A new tenant had moved in faster than expected. The apartment was not mine anymore. The next afternoon, Lauren went there. I know because the call started. First one, then another, then three. Back to back, then a text. Where are you? Another. Stop embarrassing yourself. Another. This isn't funny. Another. You can't just disappear from your own life. I didn't answer. A few minutes later, Natalie called. I let that go, too. Then she texted, she's outside your old building. She says. Some guy answered. I looked at that message for a long time. I could picture it too clearly. Lauren standing in the hallway with her hair done and her speech ready. Lauren knocking with that firm little rhythm she used when she wanted to sound calm but was furious. Underneath, the door opening, a stranger in slides, probably holding a box or a roll of paper towels or something. Ordinary and perfect. Lauren asking, is Charlie here? And the stranger saying, no, I just moved in. I imagined her checking the apartment number. I imagined her looking at the mailbox and seeing my name gone. I imagined the moment she realized I hadn't stormed out. I had completed the exit. That was the part she never thought I could do. After the call stopped, I sent one final personal text. You said I'd fall apart without you. I didn't. I just stopped letting you watch me shrink. She read it immediately. No reply came for 8 minutes. Then the friend group chat exploded. Lauren wrote a long message saying I had blindsided her, abandoned relationship, acted unstable, and humiliated her by vanishing instead of communicating like an adult. She said she had been trying to help me. She said everyone knew I struggled with basic life stuff and that she was the one who had kept things together. She ended with, I hope you all understand I tried. I really did. The typing bubbles appeared and disappeared for almost a full minute. Nobody sent anything. My hands were shaking, but not because I was afraid, because I knew this was the moment where silence would let her write the story forever. So I wrote one message. I'm not asking anyone to pick sides. I ended the relationship because being repeatedly belittled became normal, then public. I handled the apartment and shared expenses in writing. I won't let this become a story where I disappeared because I couldn't cope. Then I attached only what was necessary. A screenshot of Lauren saying, I would fall apart without her. A screenshot of her writing, Charlie is easier to manage when he doubts himself. A screenshot of, if he takes that overseas thing, I lose control of his schedule. The apartment handoff. Confirmation with private details. Blacked out. The bank transfer receipt. Showing final shared expenses paid. I did not attach every ugly message. I did not expose private things just to hurt her. I gave enough truth to stop the lie from becoming permanent. The chat went silent. Then Ben replied, nobody watched Charlie fall apart, Lauren. We watched. You panic when he didn't. That line sat there like a door slamming. Miles wrote, I should have said something that night. I laughed because it was awkward, not because it was okay. I'm sorry. Natalie wrote, I'm sorry too. I should have told you it had gone too far. Someone left the chat. Lauren typed for a long time, then stopped, then typed again. Finally, she wrote, wow, so now I'm abusive because I was scared of losing him. Nobody answered. That was the karma. Not a screaming match. Not everyone turning into perfect defenders. Just the sudden absence of people rushing to help her make me small. After That Lauren tried email. At first she stuck to logistics. 2 items left in the apartment. A shared streaming account. A question about a utility bill. I answered those briefly. Then she shifted. I was scared. I didn't mean it like that. You made me look horrible. You know I loved you. You're throwing away 6 years. Just meet me once. I replied only once to the personal part. I'll respond to remaining logistics. Only do not contact me for emotional discussions. She wrote back, you're cold. I didn't answer. She tried sending messages through Natalie. Natalie told her she wouldn't be the messenger. She tried calling from another number. I blocked it. She sent one email with the subject line closure. I archived it without opening it for 3 days, then read it only to make sure there was nothing logistical inside. There wasn't. It was mostly about how hurt she was that I had made private relationship dynamics public. That phrase stayed with me. Private relationship dynamics. That was what she called it when she made my confidence a leash. I left for the overseas role without posting about it. No airport selfie. No caption about new beginnings. No dramatic picture of my boarding pass. I didn't need Lauren to see me leaving for it to count. At the gate, I bought a bottle of water and checked my folder 3 times. Passport, documents, housing confirmation, printed copies of things nobody asked for, but made me feel better to have. I almost heard Lauren in my head, you'd lose that folder if I wasn't here, but the voice was weaker. By the time the plane took off, it was just a thought passing through, not a rule. My temporary apartment was smaller than the one I'd left. The first night, it felt too quiet. I unpacked my suitcase and realized I had forgotten to buy detergent. I laughed out loud in the empty kitchen because of course I had. The next morning, I bought detergent. Nothing collapsed. A few days later, I got off at the wrong bus stop and had to walk 20 minutes in shoes that were not built for it. I cursed under my breath, found my way back, and made a note on my phone. Nothing collapsed. I messed up a grocery label and bought something I thought was coffee that absolutely was not coffee. I ate cereal out of a mug because I hadn't bought bowls yet. I washed a load of laundry and forgot it for 2 hours. Still, nothing collapsed. That was the strangest freedom. Not becoming perfect, not suddenly turning into someone who never forgot paper, towels, or missed a message or got overwhelmed. The freedom was that my mistakes were just mistakes now. They were not evidence in a case someone had been building against me for 6 years. Miles checked in once a week at first, not in a heavy way, just a meme, a you alive, or a picture of takeout from the old group's favorite place. Ben sent one message that said, for what it's worth. I should have called it out sooner. I told him I appreciated it. Natalie apologized one more time, longer than before. She said she had always told herself Lauren was intense, not cruel. She said it was easier to keep the peace when I was the one absorbing the discomfort. She said, I'm sorry I stayed quiet because your silence was convenient. That one hit hard because she was right. My silence had been convenient for everyone. For Lauren, it meant control. For our friends, it meant no awkward confrontation. For me, it meant I could pretend things weren't bad enough to change. But silence has a price. Mine was paid in self-trust. Lauren did not vanish from my life all at once. People like Lauren rarely do. For a while, I would still get an email every couple of weeks. A memory, a complaint, a line that sounded like concern until I read it twice. I stopped reading them twice. Eventually, they slowed. Then they stopped. I heard through Miles that Lauren told a few people I had become cold and corporate, which almost made me smile. If being cold and corporate meant paying my bills, ending a lease properly, refusing emotional bait, and keeping records, then fine. I could live with that. The last time she emailed me, the subject line was, I hope you're proud. The body Said you proved you can leave. I hope. It was worth hurting someone who loved you. I thought about replying. I thought about telling her love was not supposed to require me to stay weak so she could feel necessary. I thought about telling her she didn't miss me as much as she missed access to my schedule, my decisions, my doubts, my head. Instead, I closed the email. Some replies are just old cages with better lighting. Months later, I was making coffee in my tiny kitchen before work. Not the kind Lauren liked. Mine. Too strong. No. Sugar in the chipped blue mug I had packed because it was mine before it became ours. There was laundry in the basket, a bill reminder on my phone, dishes in the sink, a grocery list with paper towels on it. I looked around and realized my life was not flawless. It was simply mine. That was enough. I didn't leave because I wanted to prove I could survive without Lauren. I left because I finally understood I should not have to audition for basic respect. I didn't need a dramatic revenge plan. I didn't need to humiliate her back. I didn't need to become cruel to prove I was free. The best revenge was building a life she could not enter, manage, or narrate for me. And the first time I forgot paper towels in that new life, I went back to the store and bought them myself. No speech, no shame, no verdict. Just paper towels. If you like the stories, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.